A single Aston was sent to the ring in 1959 to attempt the third successive victory for David Brown against the full works teams. At 9 a.m. on June the 7th, the race is on. And into the lead steams Sterling and the DBR1.
The DBR1 absolutely epitomises the pinnacle of racing achievement for Aston Martin. The perfection of design by a small, highly talented team. There's nothing you can look at the DBR1 and say, maybe they could have done that bit differently. No, it's actually perfect everywhere on that car. My name is Stephen Archer. I am a historian of Aston Martins and I have been racing them even since 1978. So we think of Aston Martin as a luxury grand touring brand, but this is only really true because of Aston Martin's heritage and its DNA in racing. And the pinnacle of Aston Martin's competition cars and its competition achievements was the DBR1. Big claim? Well, it is a big claim, but here's the thing. Aston Martin did very, very well in the 1950s with the DB3S, up against Ferrari, of course, and Jaguar. So come 55, John Wyer and David Brown decided to produce a racing car that would finally take the fight properly to the opposition, and also hopefully take Aston Martin to its ultimate goal of winning Le Mans. Right from the outset, the DBR1 was to prove itself as an incredibly competent racing car, and yet it was designed by a tiny team led by one man, Ted Cutting, who designed the chassis, the engine, and the beautiful body that epitomizes racing Aston Martins. Come 1959, the team of Aston Martins went on, of course, to win Le Mans. In fact, they took first and second. But why is this car, DBR1, so important? Well, just 3 weeks before Le Mans was the 1,000 kilometres of Nürburgring once again. And they were not going to enter a car there. Their target was to win Le Mans. But Stirling Moss said, look, we've won this race twice. We can really win this race again. Just let me take the car there. And John Wyer agreed.
With 17 of the 44 laps completed, Moss has clocked up a lead of 5 minutes and 5 seconds. And in he comes to give the wheel to Fairman.
And Jack Fairman was a very able co-driver, but Jack Fairman went off and put the car in the ditch.
Sterling checks his time, and Jack is overdue. Anxiously, the Aston pit looked down the course.
Luckily, it was he that did it because he was a very strong fellow. And on his own, he pushed the car out of the ditch and got it back to the pits, by which time it was a long way from the lead in the race.
Now lying a low-lived fourth. Quickly the car is checked, and Sterling sets out upon a drive the like of which the ring has rarely seen. Driving like a man who has an appointment with a checkered flag and doesn't want to be late, Moss and the Aston Martin are soon in the lead again. The DBR1 does all that Sterling asks of it, and Sterling keeps his appointment, right on time.
Stirling Moss's finest ever drive. He jumped in and won by a huge margin, and that was undoubtedly Aston Martin DBR1's finest hour, but also set them up for being able to compete in the World Championship. Having driven DBR1, I can say that it is an extraordinary machine to drive. For a start, it's actually very easy. It's very light, incredibly precise. The chassis feels very modern. The handling is absolutely blissful. You know exactly where you are with this car at all times. It is perfectly balanced with transaxle in the rear and that light alloy engine at the front and you in the middle of it all. And its performance is really quite extraordinary for a car of that period. Let's just remember that in 1959 at Le Mans, the DBR1 was achieving 175 miles an hour on the Mulsanne Straight for 24 hours. Not maybe the sort of power that we're used to in Aston Martins today, but remember, this is a 3-litre engine of the period and the car is very light. But above all else, this is the car that gives you confidence, and it's a car that says, I'm going to get you to the end of the journey, I'm going to get you to the end of the race. We work at this together, we're going to have an amazing drive.